Yeah, see ya!
What's going on, my fellow fuss butts? Zabu the Sergal here, and I'm back into the video just to educate my people. Okay, so I've noticed over, good lapse of time that a very particular popular video on my channel has been receiving a lot of, misunderstood and questionable comments. And so I just kind of want to elaborate on, why that is and kind of, further explain, the situations and stuff that I was talking about in that video. In case you guys haven't already noticed, that is the Why Most Furries Are Gay video. Alright, now the main thing that a lot of people are saying is that they think that I said that, if you hang out with guys or if, a girl hangs out with girls, then all of a sudden they're gonna, start dating those people or start liking those people. That's not what I meant at all. And I'll elaborate more on why that is. Okay, so in the video I said that people want to primarily date someone that they share a common interest with. As everyone already knows, that this could be anybody, like anybody in the world. But, based on that statistic that I had read, which I'm guessing was a little bit wrong because, why my Most Furries Are Bisexual video actually debunked the data that was in that video. But, we'll get to that, at a later set, another station. But of course, I found this poll and I took my information directly from this poll. And of course, this was taken from, I forgot the site, it was a 2014, like a little furry poll or whatever, just people asking some questions and stuff, going around cons and doing stuff like that, just getting some information from the people. And so that's where, like 85% of the fan were male with, the remaining 15 being female. And so I kind of, went into a little detail and, kind of went around and ground a little bit and actually, uncover some things as to why that is. And that's when I came around, the common interest thing because, that's a known fact with like anybody, a good relationship is based on those common interests between the two people, regardless of who they are. This is pretty much gonna, help me back up what I was saying in my first Why Most Furries Are Gay video. Alright, so let's think about it on a younger level. Typically, back in the day, whenever two parents would raise their child, they raise their child primarily to be straight because, man plus woman equals child, and that means that, life goes on. And so that was like, like the standard in life or whatever. But, as some people grew up, they'd start to realize that, maybe I don't like the way that I've been raised, maybe I like someone else and stuff like that. And, they kind of have like these thoughts, swirling in the mind, and they think that, just maybe I'm the only person that thinks like that. And then that's when, they'll probably reach out to somebody else, once they start making friends, someone that they can actually talk to directly that won't judge them based on their different beliefs and stuff like that. So they get to talking to them and, they get to, sharing their little knickknacks and things like that. And then they'll be talking to me. It's like, I was raised this type of way, but what if I'm not into that type of thing? What if I like this and that? Or what if I don't like this or that? This is how I was raised, but this is not how I am. I'm not in no way, shape, or form saying that, if you hang out with one such kind of person that you'll start trying to go after that type of person. It's just that, as you, start to talk to people that share common interests and stuff, you start to find out more things about yourself. And a lot of people in our community, that does happen over time, once they start talking to these people and they start realizing stuff that they didn't know about themselves, they start communicating with other people that share those same type of, realizations and stuff like that. And that's when they start feeding off those thoughts to each other. But let me slow this down just a little bit. And another thing that a lot of people were saying is that, you're born with your sexual orientation, and I believe that to the fullest extent. But like I say, most people were raised, thinking that, straight is the way to go. So a lot of people may not know exactly what their sexual orientation is when they, first start realizing all these types of things. And so as they get older, the pieces of the puzzle start lining up, and then they start finding out more about themselves. That's pretty much what I was saying, and it's like whenever two people that share those common interests, being raised up in the same way and realizing that and how they're raised may not, define the type of person that they are. Once they start swapping that out, they start realizing these things. That's when these people start opening up as to who they really are. I guess you could sort of push the point that, some of the things that I was saying in my first video, they seem kind of vague and that I didn't elaborate as much as I should have. But, this video right here should definitely kind of, help clear up the misunderstandings that was going on in that other video. Long story short, it's pretty much an explanation about people finding themselves. Some people already know full well the things that they want in life and others don't. And I pretty much, that video was talking about the people that kind of don't. But of course I don't want this video to go in too many circles, so I'll pretty much direct it back to the main point. I'm not saying that if you hang out with guys, then you'll be gay. I'm just saying that, you know, as far as relationships go, if somebody wants to date someone that shares a common interest, which is like the main primary source as to relationships that work, you know, if that primary source of those people that share the same common interest as you are, you know, of the same sex as you, and you're okay with that, then by all means go for it. And if you're not, you know, still, you know, keep looking, find what you want. But of course, that video didn't really have enough information inside of it to kind of elaborate on why that was. And of course, that was kind of some split-second research. You know, this time, over time, I had a long time, you know, think about it. And of course, reading you guys' comments, a lot of them were kind of, you know, ill-willed or whatever. And a lot of people got offended and upset and stuff like that. And I see why, because, you know, it was somewhat insulting to some people. And so, you know, I'm just trying to, you know, clear that up. I mean, it's still going to be kind of confusing. And of course, you know, people that see that video may not see this video. I'll try to link the two together. But yeah, this is just pretty much me letting you guys know that that's not at all what I was trying to say. But this video has gone on for quite long enough, so I'm going to go ahead and close this. So, if you like this video, then go ahead and scratch that like button so that I can know to post more awesome content in the future. You want to talk to me? Have some Twitter. You want to stay updated as well as know when the next Q&A is going to be? Have Furfinity. Be on the lookout for brand new videos every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You want to draw fan art of Zabu the Sergal? Fan art is always welcome. Keep it clean. But as always, my name is Zabu the Sergal, and I'm out of here. Blah, blah, blah.
I think you might have seen my human before when I was disguised as a human, but nope, you're still here, Nikolai, the real blue cabbage.
Nice, that is a really nice suit.
Thank you.
Hi! It says they're completely random, but my tags like right